You know, it's hard when you have a kid that really pushes back, like there was a period with Isla where I felt like, I don't think she really felt this way, but I felt like the surface feeling of Isla was, if mom disappeared from the planet, that would be so much better for me. I could eat unlimited Oreos. I could drink soda all the time. I could totally blow off my homework. I would not have to clean my room or brush my teeth. And how much better would life be? Like that was, it was like middle school. Mm-hmm. And I understood that this is the way life works. She doesn't really feel that way about me. But over 6 or 8 months of feeling that she really feels that way, even though I knew she really doesn't, it kind of sucks for the other person because you're like, what the fuck? There's nothing I could discipline her. I could yell at her. I could have sweet talks with her. I could cry and tell her my deepest feelings. Nothing affected change in her. Not one thing. It was the same bullshit every day. And at a certain point, I just go, it's just going to have to work itself out. But so I understood that piece of Blythe not knowing what to do and nothing working. And this kid being so kind of diabolical that there's nothing she could do that would work. Like even if she did the right thing, then Violet would pivot it into the wrong thing. That's what I felt was happening.
Yeah, like for example, when she did the right thing, like volunteered for the school field trip.
Yeah.
And then Violet used that as an opportunity to say, fuck you.
Yep.
You don't get to be a good mom.
Yep.
I think that what you just said was really important, Leanne, because I think that when I tell people that I have teenagers, it's like, oh, teenagers, oh, teenage girls or whatever. Everybody gives you the same sort of thing. But that's based in, to me, it always feels based in like, oh, dating, like drinking, like whatever the typical, like, and typical, I'm saying like, what was the 80s,
right?
80s movie version of teenage behavior,
Yep.
And I'm always like, that has no bearing in my life today, as no bearing in my life during a pandemic.
Right.
It's just my kids are living a very different teenage lives than we did.
Yes, for sure.
In the 80s, not in a pandemic, in a different city, all of that. But what is really hard about parenting teenagers is, the constant, the I don't like you feeling. And even when they're not saying I don't like you, just the disrespect, even when it's on a very micro level of just like in a minute, like even if it's just the constantly, I got it. I got it, mom. In a minute. Whatever. It like the most innocuous stuff that even though in my big moments early in the day when I'm well rested, I can go, this is typical. This is developmental. It's okay.
Got it.
And then by the time like 8:30 rolls around and I'm tired and it's just, there's so much buildup and it feels like just a minute. It feels like a fuck you and die. Like it feels like a much bigger thing.
Yeah.
And it really wears you down. And I remember, my neighbor Mel, who I was very close to, I am very close to, but they moved, when her daughter was a teenager. Her daughter is 6 years older than Camille. And when she was a teenager, Mel would just say to me, she'd say, I honestly don't know if I can survive this, Kirsten. And I'd say, oh, for God's sake, get over it. Teenagers are going to be rude, whatever. I was not a good friend to her. I would say, Mel, come on.
Get over it.
This is developmentally appropriate. This is what she's supposed to be doing. She's separating from you. And I texted her a little while ago and I said, I apologize. I'm like, I don't know if some days I honestly don't feel like I will survive it. I totally understand where she's coming from because it's all of these, it's like microaggressions. All of these microaggressions that chip away at you all day long. And like my kids are good kids. They're easy kids. But they're teenagers. And so it's like one more eye roll or like, that just, it makes me lose my mind. At a certain point, I'm like, okay, well, I'm a middle-aged woman, so I'm like invisible in society. It's not like, being a hot 20-something where everybody's like, ooh, look at her, look at her go, or whatever. Nobody notices me. And so then to also not be noticed in my own home by the time 8:30 at night rolls around, it is too much. And I'm like, I understand at such a root level what she was talking about.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I don't know if I will survive this.